Hello. So I want to, in this video, talk about writing a book for the first time. Writing my first book, what that's been like. And I don't want to get too confusing here because I actually have a couple of self-publishing projects in the works. One book I actually did write by hand in this journal here called Letters from Tubic, and I'll be self-publishing that. And I have another book that's my first microblog collection. And it's 99 inspired writings that are really in like a short, eclectic format. Some of them are short stories, some are just insights or inspirations. Some are, my ideas and opinions on things like business and entrepreneurship, creativity and inspiration, self-love. And the book, I guess what I call my first book, is trying to make it, because that's where everything started. A year and a half ago, I stepped away from all the crap that I was doing entrepreneurially, and I decided that I wanted to pursue my dream of writing, make that my work, and that's what I've always wanted to do for my life's work, but I was afraid and I avoided it and I procrastinated, and I thought, well, when I get to this certain point of success, then I can give myself permission to write. And I realized that that was totally backwards, and that I could just be writing now and that my success will come from that. And it was a real mind swap for me because, I had been told growing up all these ideas about how money is made in the world and how the world works, and getting a 9-to-5 and secure work, and having a 401k and some sort of job security and having a degree and blah blah blah. And part of my history is that I do have a degree in English literature, but all the copywriting I've done, the freelancing, everything I've done entrepreneurially, and all the writing that I do is self-taught. Because in English literature, you're reading literature and then you're writing about it. It's not creative writing. I didn't get a creative writing degree. So all the writing that I'm doing is self-taught, self-instructed. Now, obviously, as I get into different publishing stages, I'll be working with editors, and I'm going to learn so much more about the writing process and how to tell a story and all that stuff. So I actually consider that education, even though, it's something that you're getting paid for and you're it's like collaboration, you're working with someone, but I consider that education, more education than I ever received in a classroom. And the things that I did learn from college were really follow through. When I got my degree, it was oh my gosh, I went to my classes enough to be given a grade and to say this was complete and I have this degree. I don't even know where my actual degree is. I have absolutely no idea. I don't even care. I don't even remember it coming in the mail. I didn't go to my graduation. It's not even a big deal to me. But it was something that after so many years, I could say, I did that. And I finished. But it certainly wasn't the moment in my life of accomplishment that I think my parents felt that it was. Oh my gosh, now I'm an upstanding member of society, or I could get a good job. Because all I've ever wanted to do is create and be creative. And ultimately, I've always wanted to write. And so, when I started writing, trying to make it, I started brushing up against all these different limiting beliefs and things that I had been told growing up. And really this heavy, heavy doubt sunk in as far as, can I do this? Why am I even doing this? Should I get a master's degree in creative writing because I'm just doing this on my own and I don't know how to write a book and da-da-da, and how am I going to get a literary agent and a publicist, and jumping ahead to all these different steps that I'm not even at yet, and just really splaying myself out to the point of being completely frozen. So throughout the writing of this book, it's been a year and a half since I started this, and throughout the writing I've had chunks of complete being totally frozen in fear and procrastination and doubt and resistance, and just completely not even wanting to write because I put so much pressure on this book trying to make it, that it has to be perfect and all these different things. And what if it takes too long, and I needed to fix my life, and just so incredibly stressful. And I was talking to the PIC, partner in crime, Jim and Paishal, about this, and he was like, stress, and I absolutely love this, stop taking everything so seriously. But we forgot the R, so really, dude, let's not even take this acronym so seriously. But I absolutely love this. Stop taking everything so seriously. Really, dude. And I realized that I was. When I wrote this book in here, Letters from Tubek, I hand wrote this book in the matter of like 3 weeks. And I was so happy with it. It was so freeform. Same thing with the microblogs. Because I didn't put that pressure of like, oh my God, this is a book, or this is a novel, or this is my first fiction work, and this is the first one, so it has to be absolutely epic. And, that kind of pressure and that kind of emphasis, like, it just did not do any good for my creative process. What I've realized about myself in this time, in writing a book, is I really have to be in tune with how I function as a human being. And entrepreneurially, this is something I never took the time on because my whole focus was on the hustle, the grind, the meeting the next person, the networking, the staying up all night to make sure that my website was great, to, be editing photos all the time and putting out content, and how to do the video vlog every week and all this stuff. And I realized that I didn't even know that I actually operate a lot better in a quiet space with lots of alone time, and then I need downtime away from social media, away from all those comparison channels that are completely miring us in the he said, she said, do it this way, do it that way. And it just cancels out our ability to tap into our intuition because there's just like so much clutter around us all the time. And so I went through that big time. And I started to become really aware of all these distractions around me, even in my own environment. Like, I'm to the point where it's beautiful outside right now in this time of year, but I actually realize, like, when I sit down to write, I have to close the windows because there's cars zooming by, there's people with their dogs outside, there's people walking by playing music, and every time I am jarred out of my flow when those things happen. So I actually have to create like a vacuum in my apartment to completely get in my own zone and like stay in my creative space. And everyone functions differently that way. And so something that I've been exploring with trying to make it are, what are those ways that I can sit down and focus? Because I have always just been this like ADD creative butterfly, never finishes a project, hops from one thing to the next with such a lack of follow through. And so I have had to really like cultivate, these nourishing practices around me to sit down and do the work and give myself permission to do this fully, regardless of what things around me look like or what other people around me are saying about it. And, to be able to sit down and give yourself permission to live yourself permission. By that, I mean myself permission to live my dream. So those have been some of the, the big things, like realizing, lifting that pressure to not take everything so seriously, to remove distractions. And part of that for me has been like really changing up my game with social media. Like, I schedule all my posts out to Instagram from my computer, so I'm not, I'm not like in there scrolling every day. Every once in a while I hop in there, but I want to actually make that even less. But I do feel like I need to like, touch base with people, because I love those of you who do like comment on my stuff, and it's nice to just see that your presence is there. But I get like I don't want to get too caught up in like the commentary, on the writing. Like, I really want to put the writing out there and let it meet you where you are, and then kind of step back from there, The other thing is, I haven't even been on Facebook in like months, and I deleted all my friends on there except for one friend, my friend Chad, who actually passed away, so it's like an in memoriam page, because all the friends that I had on Facebook, I wasn't connecting through there. I wasn't even using it. And I was like, I just don't want more virtual dead weight. I just don't want it. And I don't like going into Facebook because I go in there and I have a fucking seizure every time. Like, there's just so much going on there. I can't even take it. There's just ads and groups and like, it's so much. It's just absolutely advice overload, comparison central. I just can't even handle it. And then my Twitter, I've just kind of let stagnate for right now because I don't know how I want to use it creatively. And I'm really just into Instagram. So that was like a huge shift that, I did this year with clearing my distractions as far as social media went. Because before I felt like I needed to be everywhere and I was producing for everything. But now I'm really just in Instagram. I share my writings, my microblogs, insights. I let you guys know when a video comes up on YouTube. And I just keep it really simple and creative and fun. And that's the deal, and having that layer of separation for me really, really helps. And then posting these videos on YouTube once a week. And that has been like my core. And I just feel like solid in that, like I love doing these videos. I love talking to you on these videos, touching base with you. And you can find these and touch base with this absolutely at any time along your path, which I love. So it's going to stay up here and it's like you're in my living room with me and there's my couch, we're just chilling, and it's like so relaxed and simple to be able to share this stuff with you. And same thing with Instagram. I get that vibe, like it's very connected, it's very close, very like me to you, and I see you. So on that note, how it's been, writing the book, it's been the greatest adventure of my life so far. And it's also been, very not shiny. There's so many moments where there's no immediate result other than the pure joy and fulfillment I get from the actual process. And I absolutely love to write. I love to figure out ways to say things smoothly and eloquently and interestingly and in all these different ways with language. I love telling my stories. I like putting spins on my experiences. I like extrapolating insights from them. I absolutely love to write. And in this year and a half, since I really sat down and started writing, I have gotten more and more focused on it. And I've built up confidence in my writing. Like, I still doubt it. I still think, oh my God, this is structurally a mess and like all this stuff. But the thing is, when I actually get into the writing, and when I read it, I'm like, dude, this is good. And that feeling of just like enjoyment that I get from it is what it's all about for me. So everything else is like mega amazing, icing on the cake. I know it's just gonna like grow and bubble up from there. So I'm very thankful that I finally like took that step in my life to write this book. And the day that I finish it, I actually have a letter already written for myself. And I've forgotten what it said, which is wonderful. It's kind of the whole point. I'm like going to get emotional right now, but something to the effect of like, you did it. You finished writing your first book. So I think that feeling of like fulfillment and accomplishment that day is going to be so absolutely incredible, because while I do have 2 other books already in the works, trying to make it is like, to me, that's like my baby. That's my first book. So I will keep you posted. When that day comes, you will know it. And I'm going to hop off. All the links are down below for you from my usual spots. You can always join me in the Do You tribe. If you'd like to support my writings, my self-published works, and getting into form, join me in the Do You tribe. I do behind the writings, kind of take you into the community safe web of everything that is Elyse Hughes Writer, and give you the backstory on what really goes into this stuff. So I will talk to you next time, and see you later.